Well, hey everybody, what is up? Welcome to another wonderful monthly episode of Gamer Disclaimer with Mag and Wade. And I am Mag, beside me is Wade, and we have a doozy planned for you all for the month of August. So, Wade, we have been playing lots of Fall Guys together recently in efforts to win 5 games in a row. Got very close last night, so I know how you are doing myself personally, but for the people who care about our show, why don't you let the people know how you've been, what you've been up to, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's the middle of summer. It's hot as fire here in Arizona. My air conditioning died, so
Mm,
we had to get that replaced. That was extremely unpleasant, but luckily there was about a 24-hour turnaround that we were able to get everything taken care of, and we only had to abandon ship and go and stay one night at a hotel with air conditioning before we were able to return to glorious air conditioned comfort within our own home.
cool.
Um, the wife is out of town at the moment. In fact, as we record this, she is at a Goo Goo Dolls concert
Mm,
with Neon Trees opening.
cool.
I don't think that gun to her head, my wife could name a single Goo Goo Dolls or Neon Trees song, but I hope she's having a good time.
Oh, come on. Everyone knows Iris.
Yeah, but the tricky thing about Iris is that even if you know Iris, you might not know that it's called Iris because they don't say Iris in the song.
This is true.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Cool.
Tricky for sure. Yeah, did you just wanna know what's going on or what I've been playing as well? Because I have a
Yeah,
little
we
bit of that.
we can do that as well.
Okay. I have it pulled up. The Xbox thing did let me know what I've been playing. So we did, me and, Jazz did finish playing through Gears of War, the 3rd version of the 1st game, whatever it's called, remastered, reloaded, on insane difficulty. We
Mm,
finished the entire campaign. It was considerably easier than it has been in the past. We've done it with every version of Gears of War that they've put out, and this one somehow felt like one of the easier ones. I also pushed through Halo Campaign Evolved.
yep.
Maybe if you were to play that as well, then we could do a review on that, a timely review next month about how it's, I don't know, at least from my perspective, it is not really the same game. It's got
Really?
enough things changed about, I mean, it's the same story, obviously, but
Sure.
enough things changed about it gameplay wise that there absolutely is still merits to play the original for more historical purposes. And I don't even know if this improves or makes things better for a modern audience to a certain extent. I don't know. Maybe I'm just showing my age. You shouldn't be able to sprint in Halo unless it's in Halo Reach, and then you should get to pick between sprinting and using a jetpack.
I agree. This is how it should be.
uh I played that Halo campaign evolved on Game Pass, and if I have a Game Pass subscription, that means that I also was playing some Forza Horizon 6, which is still a very good game. Maybe not as good as Forza Horizon 5, but still having a lot of fun with it. It looks like at the start of the month, like shortly after we did our last call, I started playing Banjo Kazooie, but I guess I lost interest or life got in the way with something else. And then recently, within the past couple of days, I dipped a toe in the water with a game called Golf Peaks, which is kind of like a puzzle grid based card golf game. So the early levels that I played, you would get like two cards at the bottom because it was just introducing it to you. And it was, well, this one will make your shot go one square, and this will make your shot go two squares. And it
Okay.
was, just rounding a corner around an obstacle kind of thing. And then it gave you only one card that would move you two squares, but you were one square away from the hole. So you had to aim away from the hole and bounce off the wall behind you and then put it into the hole.
Hmm.
Interesting little brain tickler. I hope that I will enjoy it. And then I also started playing a game called Motor Slice, which is, I think, described as Shadow of the Colossus, except you're fighting construction equipment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You can do a lot of like wall running and wall jumping. And at one point in time, I was wall running, and the controller said, "Press X to motor slice." And the chainsaw weapon that I have, the character shoved it into the wall, and then as it revved up, I just sailed along the wall with great speed. Was a
Interesting.
very satisfying. Was a very satisfying press of the X button. That's for
Hmm.
sure.
I'm gonna look
And
this.
Fall Guys twice a week.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
that's nowadays.
gonna have to look up this game now because I'm curious. Motor Slice. Um, well, cool. Um, yeah, been busy. Had a lot going on. Visited some friends the last few weekends, and but yeah, everything's going pretty good over here in Virginia. I've been collecting Mega Man games, so I have 2, 3, 4, 6, and 8. Sorry, I keep yawning. It's like late here, and I just yawn. I have 2 kids. I have an excuse. But yeah, so I haven't really been playing any of those games, unfortunately. But I did join a Rec League of Legends League. And so we start that later this month. So I've been playing a lot of League of Legends. I've been playing through Mega Man 8. I have been playing that one through, and I picked up a copy of it yesterday, actually, for a great price. Um, and then, of course, yeah, been doing Fall Guys. Really been grinding the content. Been posting, well, first it was a video every day, then it was 2 videos every day, and now it's up to 3 videos every day. Mostly just a Fall Guys clips. Working on a few other things as well to add some variety to the content. But yeah, and then streaming twice a week. It was just once a week, and then at least until football starts for the next month, I'm going to stream on Sundays as well. But once football starts, there's no point in competing against the NFL. Bought these headphones, which are cool. I'm still kind of getting used to them because they're noise canceling. So if I sound really weird to myself in my headphones, everything sounds really clear and they're really nice. But I've been rocking these glasses for the blue light protection as well. So if I can game for a long time. But yeah, I just been playing Fall Guys League and just a few odd games here and there. And yeah, nothing too exciting. It's been like I said, pretty chill. Um, which I have a story to tell about this weekend that we will get into after we tackle the news. So we got 5 headline things that have happened since we recorded last, and things to talk about. Literally the day after we recorded the episode for our July show, uh, Sony announced that they are going to quit making discs for consoles in 2028. And so we thought about adding on another segment to the previously recorded episode, but we're going to go more into depth on that and our thoughts on that as our main topic for tonight, because even a month later, I feel like it's still very relevant and people are still very much so talking about it. And there's just a lot to it. So that is an announcement. They are ending the production of discs in 2028. Like I said, we'll go more into that later, but I know, Wade, we were kind of shocked a little bit. I mean, not completely shocked, but interesting. We'll talk more about it later.
Okay.
Okay. Second headline is that the Xbox price hikes are now currently in effect. So, last episode we talked about the price increases that were coming, and now they are officially in effect. So, my Xbox Series S that is down here and is somehow on is now worth double, almost. More than double what I paid for it. So that's cool. And your Series X, do you have the 2 terabyte that doesn't even exist anymore, or what is yours, Wade?
Still 1 terabyte.
So yours is now worth what, $800 new?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sell it though. I
Uh,
need it.
you
And I
did
have a spare mag. Don't forget about that.
you did mention to me though that you think that was going to be one of the last consoles you buy. So you did also in Wade news bought a brand spanking new supercomputer that is awesome, and I'm very happy for you about that.
Yeah, we'll see if I can, you know, wean myself off of console gaming a little bit. Try and do a little bit more PC gaming.
Yeah. Well, you already have a Switch too, so that's kind of the outlier in the group. Yeah, not a whole lot more to discuss about that other than the barrier to Xbox gaming, the entry point is $500. Which is
Yeah.
insane.
No, it's utter nonsense that when you're in the position that Xbox is, where they're trying to garner any amount of goodwill that they can, they just yo-yo. I mean, Xbox, Microsoft have always kind of done this where you can never get two good announcements in a row. It's always something positive and then at least one negative thing before you go back to getting another positive thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's on your docket right now, but one interesting thing that has come out of it in the discussion of Sony announcing that they're going discless, and all the Microsoft price hikes, is that sometime in August, maybe this will be a discussion that we can have in our next episode. Microsoft is pushing out some disc to digital program where once you put a disc into a console, that disc is now associated with your profile
Hmm.
and you can play it without needing to utilize the disc. However, if you were to sell that disc and somebody else were to claim it, then the license would no longer be associated with you anymore.
Hmm.
It's a weird, I think it's just like a weird half stopgap with all of these things. And obviously, everything that I just described is how they're like hypothesizing that it should work. Nothing is obviously set in stone at this point in time, but
That just sounds
it's interesting. It's
that
interesting.
sounds just stupid. Like if you're buying the disc, I don't know. We'll talk more
We'll have
about it
more.
later.
We'll talk more about it next episode. Not even this episode.
Speaking of Xbox and Sony, Halo Campaign Evolved is out on Xbox and PS5 with a Metacritic score of 80 and OpenCritic a little bit higher. But I was at Thomas's house on Saturday, and he has a sealed copy of that game on PlayStation, and he's like, I might just keep this sealed because I think it's going to be worth a lot of money. Because since then, Xbox lady has said Halo is not going back on PlayStation anymore.
Mm.
So you have a one-off. It'd be like if Mario just randomly came out for a PlayStation, like one of the Mario games came out for PlayStation as a one-off and then never again. So I'm just gonna be honest. It just looked really weird seeing Master Chief and then a white PS5 logo above it.
Do you think it's as weird as the time that I fired up MLB The Show on my Xbox and it opened by saying like PlayStation Studios on the splash screen?
Yeah, I mean
Probably stranger.
the show's been like a PlayStation exclusive for a while until they realized, oh, we can just make way more money. I wonder if Xbox is going to go full salve and just be like, "Hey, Call of Duty is a Xbox PC exclusive because they own Activision." I'm sure they can't do that. That's probably in the contract of sale. But that would be if I was Xbox and I didn't care, that would totally be my power move to get back in the game. If you want to play Call of
It's
Duty, it's got to be on an Xbox.
it's the strangest like Microsoft is or sorry, Xbox is already losing money and doing what you just described, though it might revitalize the brand, you would be leaving so much money on the table to try and do it. Perhaps there's a risk reward, cost analysis where it does make sense to do something like that. There's also the element of in all of the litigation where when they were buying Activision, they pretty routinely said that they were not going to make Call of Duty a console exclusive to just their platform. They were going to be, the publisher of it. But I don't know. It's You're
Yeah.
you're you're correct, and it would be a flex to end all flexes to say no, we're taking our toys and we're going home, and that's
Yeah.
how it's going to be. I had one comment about Tommy's sealed copy of Halo Combat
Campaign evolved.
Campaign Evolved. Excuse me. You just need the Cortana voice line or Chief talking to Cortana, just saying, keep it sealed. Wake me up when you need me.
Yep. That's funny. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. Um So, speaking of old games being revitalized, um, headline number 4 of 5: Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Shadow dropped on PS5 and Xbox, new Xbox consoles. And the headline was that it is already being taken over by hackers. So, Activision has had to essentially put out a patch to try to make the hackers stop. But yeah, so they re-released Black Ops 2 online and everything to be playable on the new consoles.
I don't want to poke holes in your story here, Meg, but I'm fairly certain that they released Black Ops 1 and 2 only on PlayStation because there's no reason necessarily to release them on Xbox because you can already play them, the Xbox 360 versions, upscaled through the backwards compatibility program.
Probably. It may be true. I know it's on PlayStation and that was a big deal. I
Yeah,
don't know about
and on
Xbox.
and on PlayStation, they were like fresh servers for it. It's not
Yep.
the terribly infested Xbox 360 ones.
Yes.
If there were even
And
servers, I think on 360 it was like freaking peer to peer, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, which I think they said in the headline that I read that there's over 5 million people that have played on PlayStation alone, which is pretty wild. Um, But yeah, a lot of people love Black Ops 2, so the fact that it came out on PlayStation, PS5, people were pretty jacked. In the
all
headline
all
that
of the all the stories bleed together, Mag, because that Black Ops 1 and 2 announcement happened after Sony announced that they weren't going to be producing discs anymore in 2028. And I don't believe there's a disc version of these games. And everybody's rallying cry was no disc, no buy. But then as soon as these things show up, you shell out the money for them at the drop of a hat, snap of the fingers.
yeah, I did see in the article that I read that Black Ops 2 had more players than Warzone and the most recent Call of Duty Black Ops 7, I think, combined at the like when it came out. So more people were playing Black Ops 2 than were the other current games. So interesting, reviving the old game. A lot of people loved that. Last headline to cover for today. I'm used to my OBS being over here. The Pal World TCG released this last week, and people apparently scalpers are already going crazy with it. I have a friend who bought some packs, and at a local store in Knoxville that I went to this weekend, they already had Pal World cards for sale and on display, and some of them were very expensive. Um, I personally think that TCGs in general are just going absolutely ballistic right now. And so everybody and anybody is coming up with their own TCGs to try to capitalize on the gains that are to be had because of card collecting. As a person who is in the hobby, Pokemon is obviously insane. Um, but the sports cards are insane. Like the Dragon Ball card game, Riftbound, Yu-Gi-Oh. The One Piece card game is insane, absolutely insane. There's some really expensive cards in that, and yeah, I really think that just the market's super hot, and so Pal World was just like, well, I think they were planning on doing a TCG anyway, but once they cleared their lawsuit and everything, I think they just decided to go crazy. But just like all the rest of the card collecting hobbies, scalpers are going nuts and getting bots to get all the stuff. And so I have never played Pal World. I have no interest in any of the cards other than my friend sent me a picture of Depresso because he's my favorite little pal dude. So he's like, I got you. I pulled this Depresso card. So I thought that was cool. But I don't know. You're not into any of that stuff, but it is video
Yeah,
game.
that's yeah. I mean, I won't yuck anybody's yum if that's what you're into. More power to you. But I'm extremely proud that I've only had the briefest of dabbles into the cardboard crack, and not a thing that I need to do right
Yeah, I
now.
mean,
My
there's a lot to be had.
yeah, my cousin did tell me that I'm just supposed to buy sealed product and then put it in my closet and forget about it, and that's the way that I could do it if I were to get into it.
Yep, if you can find any, that is definitely the way to go. Um, cool. Well, that's the news. Those are the 5 headlines I had. There wasn't a whole lot this last month. I think everyone's just kind of chilling. September will be busy. Uh, October, November with GTA and Legend of Zelda. I think it'll be a busier last third of the year, but everyone's just kind of chilling at the end of summer. So, fun story time, real quick. I told Wade about this, and I'll keep it very short and sweet. I was visiting Thomas this weekend, one of our good buddies, who runs the Fantasy Critic Draft, which we will go over the games coming out this month after this story. And I was in his basement, and I saw a Game Boy Advance SP box in a trash bag of stuff that they were planning to throw out. And I was like, "Hey, man, like you should keep this box. It's worth money." He did not understand that if you put a Game Boy in that box and it has all this stuff in it, it then becomes a CIB, even if it's not the original Game Boy. So then he's like, "Hey, I texted you a picture of all these Game Boy boxes that I had." And I was like, "I don't remember this," which he did. But long story short, our friend Thomas has hit a gold mine in his house. He was afraid that he threw away the boxes, but thankfully he was able to find them. And he found a Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow, Fire Red, Leaf Green, Sapphire, all the boxes with no games, with all of this stuff, like all the instruction manuals, the whatevers that come with it. So essentially, he is copies of the game away from having some of the most sought after CIBs in the handheld market, and they are in pristine shape. Like, these boxes look like they were taken off of the shelf and the plastic was ripped off of them yesterday. There's not a scratch, a dent on any of them. And so he told me he feels like he's cursed because he doesn't know what to do with the boxes. But I was like, brother, if it was me, I would take the original 3 Pokemon games. I would buy copies of the games. I'd CIB those things, put them in some sort of protective plastic or case, and display those bad boys, because that is a super sick collection to have. So as the other ones, I would probably just either find the game and sell them, or just sell the boxes on eBay. But yeah, I told Wade about it. I called him. I said, "Brother, you're not gonna believe what happened." And I'm just glad he found them, because he was losing it because he could not figure out where he had put the box with the Game Boy case, Game Boy boxes in them. And thankfully he found them. But anyway, oh, to be so lucky to find something like that, Wade. That would be pretty cool. That's it. Story time. All right, real quick. Y'all have heard a lot of me talking, so sorry. We have 6 games coming out in July for our fantasy draft. Tomorrow, Beast of Reincarnation on the 4th. I have that one. It is not scoring great, unfortunately, at the moment. A lot of 6s, but it's at a 76 right now, which, as long as it doesn't go negative, my season's cooked anyway. It's going to be Wade or Thomas that wins. Big Walk also comes out on the 4th, drafted by Nate. I've heard that game has some potential. Looks cool.
The Untitled Goose Game, people.
Yes. Also, that's what
And
Wade's
it's
voice sounds like, everybody, since you haven't heard it in a while.
I know it's multiplayer. Maybe we should check it out, Meg.
Is it on Game Pass?
No, I think it'll be on Steam.
Steam Pass. All right. The next game, which is one
I
I
can't
imagine.
imagine that it's gonna be. I imagine it's a budget game. Like I feel like it's gonna strike in like the $8 to $15 range.
Yeah, if
But
it's that,
I mean, it could be wrong.
or it's just 20. Just kidding. Which is still budget. A game that I am considering buying. I'm not a fighting game guy, but Marvel Token Fighting Souls comes out on the 6th, and that is the start of Thomas's round. Yeah, I don't think he has any games that have scored really anything yet, but he is having a very, very heavy back half of the year. And so that is one.
Don't call it a comeback, but
Fighting
that's
games
probably what it
tend
is.
to do well. He drafted Tekken last year, and I think it got a 90, or whatever it was, Tekken 8 or something. But I loved Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I think that game is so fun. And so, depending on how this one does, we'll see. I may purchase this one. Important to Wade here. Hell Let Loose Vietnam comes out on the 13th, drafted by Young Nate, but is counterpicked by Wade. So I think this is a pretty big deal for you. We need that one
And
to
I need it to be stinky.
we need it to score low so that Wade can. And then that's it for your scoring, right? After this game, do you have any more games?
Silent Hill.
I need a Silent Hill. Okay, so kind of coming to the end there. Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy is coming out the 27th, which Thomas has that one as well. I don't think that's one of his huge like heavy hitters, but definitely, like I said, just one of his games. And then the last game, also on the 27th, is Star Wars Zero Company, drafted by Two Hardware. I don't remember who that is. So not a ton of huge hitters, but I think Marvel's got a shot to be a pretty high scorer.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hate to root against it, but I think that it'll absolutely find its audience with the fighting game people. Like all that, I feel like fighting games, so long as the mechanics are solid, even if it's not a game that's going to last longer than 3 months, it'll score high. If we're looking purely at review scores.
Yeah, and that game's gonna have longevity if it's even half good, because the fighting game community. I have a good friend who plays like Tekken, and his brother plays Street Fighter, and they're kind of in the fighting game community. And Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, a lot of those games have just stuck around because there's people that play them, and they have Evo every year. It's just like a huge fighting game convention tournament thing. It's like they have tournaments in all like the biggest fighting games, and so I think this game's gonna be around for a while. Personally, that's why I'm kind of interested in it. So, all right. Well, we are doing good on time. We're only 27 minutes in. So we've done pretty good. But let's dive into our main topic. So there's two parts to this topic today. Obviously, the big thing is just the thoughts on No More Discs. So we're just going to share our opinions on that. And then the second part of it, which we'll get into, just as a part of this conversation, is a question that Thomas and I were talking. So Thomas and I were talking about it this weekend, and he made an interesting point because I was telling him like, yeah, like I'm collecting these games, and like I'm like, yeah, I'm a retro game collector. Obviously, it's all physical, but I was like, it'd be like, how cool would it be like if my dad had passed down like an Atari and some video games to me, and then I had all that stuff. So it's like worst case scenario, like all this stuff just goes down to Harrison and Corinne, and they collect it, and it's cool to have. Like, oh, my dad had every Sonic game, and now we have it. But then Thomas said something that I thought was really interesting that will be fun to dive into. He said, "What are we supposed to like pass on to our kids?" He's like, "Am I just gonna like give them my passwords to my accounts on like Steam and Xbox and PlayStation so that they can download the games that I used to play digitally when I was younger or like whatever?" And so I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Obviously, like I'm 35, Wade's what 40 something
Older.
older, and so I've never known video games to not be physical other than the most recent generation and Xbox Live Arcade and stuff like that. But like I grew up with the Sega Genesis. Wade had a Super Nintendo, NES, N64 Genesis, all that stuff. So we've like I mean, look at his physical Xbox collection back there. Like, and for me, it's like all of these games here, and I have games over here. And so, what does it look like for the next generation or the next two generations, you know, who are not going to have discs for their games? So, I'll let you go first, Wade, on your just thoughts of No More Discs, and then we can kind of we'll just run with it.
Well, this is hardly a video game topic, but on the topic of, inheritance and passing things on, it's pretty regularly that something comes across my feed of like the millennial inheritance, which is, like, I don't know, furniture, or I guess Hot Wheels cars, if that is something that your, parents happen to collect, or, china, the fine china that never got used, that just lived in the hutch all of the time. But it really does make you wonder how much of the stuff that you leave to the next people when you pass. God, we're getting so morbid over here talking about death on this podcast. Um, is just going straight to Goodwill, or, like, I mean, when I grew up around estate sales, auctions all the time. It's like, we don't got to get rid of this stuff. Turn it back into cash. Like, is it going to go in somebody else's, in your family's hands? Like, obviously, they're going to keep the stuff that's important to them, not necessarily the stuff that was important to you.
Yeah,
So it is good to have things so that when you pass, you're able to pass on the things that are important to them, so that you can be remembered by, those kind of things.
sure.
um Pivoting straight back into video game things, though. I feel like there is extensive research done by people who aren't me, uh concerning the amount of physical games of this particular generation that, A, you can play off the disc without needing to download the disc onto the hard drive of your console of choice that you were utilizing, or B, you just insert the disc so that it can download the entire game or other essential patches that are needed so that the game can actually function in the capacity that they want it to be able to do. So, how is that physical copy much different than a digital license that allows you to do the same thing? And you can always make the argument that, at least when you had a physical thing that you could hold in your hands, you felt like you could, if your back was against the wall, offload it for some nominal amount of cash. You could turn it back into cash. Whereas with a digital purchase, the deed is done. You're never seeing that money again.
Yeah,
Um, I did do a quick little Google search to see, like, can you transfer a Steam library? And most of the replies were talking about how you, like, can't transfer games between accounts. Like, once it's locked to an account, it's just on that account. If you were to give somebody your username and password to your Steam account, I don't think that Steam would necessarily do anything about that. However, if a point in time came where you lost that information and you weren't able to access that account because it's tied to personal information that is not you specifically, I doubt that they're going to be much of assistance in getting you back, or getting
sure.
things back for you. Um, Not to get political, but digital ownership is absolutely a thing that should be at the forefront of political legislation to try and figure things out, because we're kind of in uncharted territories here. Um, these companies are all too happy to let your digital purchases die with you, and that nobody else can ever get them again.
Yeah,
uh, Outside of Steam, and Sony, that's now gonna. Well, the other thing mentioned with Steam was that not only will there be no more discs, so everything is just going to be tied to your account that you have to purchase, but then if your account is inactive for too long, they can just delete your account and then it's just gone. Poof, bye bye.
yeah,
Again, the time frame that they gave was like 3 years of inactivity, but that can go by in the blink of an eye sometimes.
yeah,
It might be 3 years since you've dug your Wii U out to play it, right?
yeah.
You still want that to be there when the time comes. Um, have I caught up in the word count on the episode now, Meg? Have I said enough things to keep you happy?
Well, I just want everybody to hear your sweet voice and all the things
Mm.
you have to say. Um, I think as I've the my initial reaction was, "Oh my gosh, this is terrible. How could we do this?" But I have a few thoughts, and then yeah, I have a few thoughts. So essentially, this has already happened to some degree. Everyone was like, up in arms because Sony, after they shared that they were going no discs, then they talked about how they were gonna just remove movies that had been downloaded because they lost the rights to it or whatever, the licensing rights. So now it's like, oh, so they're just gonna take away all our games, right? And that's just what's gonna happen. And then like
You'll
this
own nothing and you'll be happy.
exactly, and then the crew and everything. But like, I think the biggest difference, right? Because in my head, I'm like, well, this has already happened. So like, we love Halo 2, right? Like Halo 2 is one of our favorite games. I can play the campaign, right? But I can't put my Halo 2 disc into my Xbox and play online unless I do the whole insignia thing and whatever, which is a fan made thing. So essentially, the live service portion of the game has died and like nobody cared about it. Like nobody made a big deal out of it. It's just
Well,
like, oh, the servers went off and they're dead, right? But the difference
people
is,
cared, Meg. People cared.
well, but like,
That element, I don't think that that element of Halo 2 was ever going to be evergreen, aside from what you've described as being fan supported.
yep,
Things that you can do with that Halo 2 disc are play the campaign,
yep,
play local multiplayer,
mm-hmm,
and if you've got 4 Xboxes and 4 copies of the game and 16 controllers, you can absolutely do a little system link.
yep,
That still exists.
for sure. Well,
All
and
right,
that's what I
proceed. I'm
was,
so sorry.
no, 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 and that's what I was going to get at. I think the fear now, and why this is a big deal to people, is that a lot of the games now are live service only, right? So with your Halo 2 disc, you can play campaign, you can play local multiplayer, you can play LAN, you can make you can do other stuff with that disc. Or like your cartridges. It's like with Mario Tennis, you can play single player, you can play split screen, whatever. But the fear is with games like The Crew or like let's just say Fortnite. Like think about what happens if like Fortnite goes belly up, right? If Fortnite it's had an incredible run, but now they say, "Hey, like Fortnite is dying, it's dead, everyone's moved on from Fortnite." There are people that have spent thousands of dollars on content, skins, blah blah blah, blah, which it's I would argue that it's the risk that you take when you spend money on a live service game. But I also can understand people's outrage in the fact that, oh, well, like, they took this game away from me that I've invested time, money, and energy into, and now I no longer can play this game, right? So I think that's the big difference that's a little bit scary is that a lot of the games now, like, that are most popular, Apex, Fall Guys, for me, like, all of these games are all full on live service, and so I think that there is a fear that, well, if, you know, they're going to take that stuff away from me. The opportunity to play it if I ever wanted to go back and play it for nostalgia's sake or whatever. Like for games that are out now, other than like, you know, single player campaign games like Breath of the Wild or God of War, stuff like that. But a lot of people are playing live service games. And when 20 years from now, if those games don't exist any longer, they're not going to have the opportunity like we have in our generation to say, hey, I love Sonic 2. I want to go back and play Sonic 2, put in the cartridge, and now I'm playing Sonic 2. But for them, they're not going to have that opportunity if a game croaks that's live service because it will just be gone and all of that money and time and energy will be wasted and they will have nothing to show for it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Do you have more to say, or can I tee up a topic for you?
No. You can say something and then um I have one other thing I was going to ask you about.
Okay. Um, are we not taking? It would be silly for us not to also point out that if the only place that you can buy PlayStation games to play on your PlayStation whatever is on the PlayStation Store, and they no longer have to compete with physical retailers or the used game market to try and bring those prices down at all. Like, I'm fairly certain that you can get a copy of God of War 2016 at Best Buy for $10.
Yep.
I don't know how much that costs on the PlayStation Store, but it costs whatever they decide that it costs.
It's
And if
more.
that's the only game in town,
Yep.
I feel like at this point in time, it may have dropped down to 20, which maybe it isn't the best example for these kinds of things, but you know what I mean? Because that is an old game at this point.
Well, but
But
sure. It's like, so Thomas has a copy of this game called Puppeteer for the PS3.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's your gold mine right there.
Yes, never heard. That's what I'm saying. This guy's just sitting on all this stuff, and I was like, brother, like, do you have any clue what you're sitting on here? He's like, yeah, it's kind of a rare game, I think. And I was like, really? It's $200 price charting, right? So, but that's the thing is though. What he said, like, this is just exactly it. So it's on PS3. It's on disc only, right? And he's like, people are buying it in the store right now because once they take it away from the store, or it's only on, like once it's off the store and they close down the PS3 store, the only way to get this game is physical, right? Or vice versa. It's like, hey, like I can't go buy, let's just say, like God of War, the new God of War that's coming out. They don't, let's say like they don't, or GTA 6. It's like, okay, well, GTA 6, you can't buy a disc version of that game. So whatever Sony or Rockstar decides is the price of that game, that is the only way that you can get it. And it's never going to diminish in value or be cheaper unless they choose to make less money. Because when it's a resale copy, like the people have paid what they agreed the price should be for it, the first person who bought it, and now since it's resold and it's lost value, they're not seeing any of that money anyway. But if it gets to the point where, like you're saying, the only way to buy a game is through the digital marketplace of the company that owns the game, anytime they put a game on discount, they're costing themselves money. But the only way to get it is through them. So I don't know. It's dicey. Let me ask you this. I didn't mean to like. So Thomas and I were talking as well. Like I said, we had a good conversation this weekend. So they were saying, oh, well, like most of our gamers, 85% of our gamers already are playing games on digital only anyway, and only 15% are buying discs, right? Or that's what their statistics were. So that was their justification on, well, we can get rid of discs. But what Thomas said I thought was really interesting, and you can tell me what you think about this. So if you have a console and you have a digital only version of that console and it's cheaper, or you have a disc version of it and it's more expensive, which one do you think is going to sell more? The digital one that's cheaper, or the disc one that's more expensive?
The cheaper one is going to sell more.
The cheaper one's going to sell more, right? So
Mhm.
I would be very curious to see the numbers on what percentage of the disc players, the people who have the discs, are actually playing disc versions of their games on their PS5s. Because if it's like, okay, well, we sold, and it might be just that, hey, we haven't sold a whole lot of the disc versions of the PS5s or whatever, or like the Xbox Series S versus Series X, right? But it's like, well, yeah, if you're selling 800,000 units of the digital only and 200,000 of the disc ones, well, then sure. Like, 4 out of 5 people don't even have the option to play on discs. So to me, saying 85% of your population play digitally when the cheaper version of your console is the digital one does not give me any validation or does not justify it in any way, in my opinion.
I mean, Sony has already made this decision. They seem to not be backing down. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. In the numbers that they're providing for their rationale, I think there is a lot more nuance in the types of games that get sold physically or the types of people that purchase physical games.
Hmm.
So, be it somebody getting somebody a game as a gift or something to that extent, versus just getting them a gift card, like I actually want to get somebody a physical game. A lot of the single player games, I think, tend to be more geared towards individuals more interested in getting a physical copy than a digital copy. Um, but they've already made the decision, much like how Microsoft made the decision when they increased the price of Game Pass Ultimate from like $15 a month to $30 a month or whatever it was, that as long as enough people are still paying this new price, we will be eating the cost of the individuals that are unwilling to be paying the price. And they've made the decision that either in the short term or the long term, they believe that they can make enough money only selling digital games and no longer having to deal with the physical production of discs and having to deal with any retailers anymore. That's
Yeah.
that's just the decision that they've made. So um to kind of bring things full circle, I think that we talked about this before where like the writing's been on the wall for forever. This was always going to happen.
Yeah.
It was just a question of when and who was going to rip the band-aid off first.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think for me personally, though, if I wasn't a PC gamer for the last however many years it's been, 6 or 7, not to do the meme, um, I would have probably had a little bit more of issue with this. But the game that I have the most time playing in my life is a digital game on a computer. I will never own I mean, there is a physical copy of the game, but it does not play the game anymore. It would just be like a keepsake for like League of Legends. But PC has been digital only for a very, very long time. And yes, the whole idea of you own a lease or a license to play the game until the company decides to cut it is a real thing, especially for your live service games. But I don't know. I'm not particularly worried. Like as morbid as it is, like yeah, like when I go, I'll be like, "Hey Harrison, here's my Steam account and you can have access to all these games." And most of the games on that Steam account, he'll be able to play if he wants to, right? And then of course I have all of my physical media. But to come full circle for me in this conversation, I have a good friend JT that I meet with who's I think he's like 50 or he loves Atari. Like he had an Atari growing up. And I was at this video game store this weekend in Knoxville and I called him because they had a whole shelf of Atari games that were like 6 for $20, you know. And so I called him and he was like, "Oh, this is awesome." We have a few, like, I got him 6 games or whatever that he had picked out of the games or whatever. But it made me think, at what point is like the stuff that I have, obviously not the collector stuff, but like, I don't care about Ataris, and I'm not even that far removed from that generation. So unless we are having our kids or the next generation playing the stuff that we played, like a Sega Genesis or an N64, I can't expect Harrison when he's 18 to give two flips about the Sega Genesis, other than it's the console that Sonic was on. Now, I would argue that the N64, Genesis, Super Nintendo were better than the Ataris, right? Because it's just games got better. But I could very much so see a world where Harrison never plays the original Xbox or never plays the Xbox 360, because why would he? Other than for nostalgia's sake, because I'm not having him play those games, right? And so, just like you had said, you know, if I go and other than if maybe he's a console collector like me, what purpose does an Xbox 360 have for him? What purpose does an N64 have for him when he's never played more than 5 hours on them? So I guess it's my job as his dad to like have him play some of that stuff maybe, and maybe it'll have some sort of nostalgia or things for him. But nostalgia for him is going to be a PS5 and forward, you know? And so, am I collecting this stuff for him and for Corinne? Sure. But am I also just collecting it for me because I want it? Yeah, probably more so, you know? So, I don't know. I, Now what he gives his kids, I don't know if he has kids because who knows? Maybe he's like, hey, here's my phone password for all my phone games. Here's all my. I don't know. But I don't know. I just think it's interesting, like who's going to care about this stuff when we're gone. Like, who's gonna care? Like, nobody cares about Ataris anymore except for 50-year-olds. You know, I mean, not really, but you know what I'm saying. So like, it's kind of full circle. So I was just like, dang, like the console that I like, his Sega Genesis for me, the games are like $6 for $20, and like most people don't care about it. And eventually, that's gonna happen if it hasn't already with the stuff that I loved, and it's just kind of like a little sad.
Well, let's pivot from a little sad to playing some games.
Okay. Well, I don't have any games. Oh, I have our games.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let me pull up the games here. You don't have anything to add on the bookend there? You're just going to let us be depressed and sad other than the
Yep.
games?
You got it.
All right. Well,
You'll own nothing. You'll own nothing. You'll be happy. I mean, it's well, who's got two thumbs and no kids? This guy over here. So I don't know where my stuff is gonna end up. I'm gonna have to pencil it in my will that it gets donated to a library or something. Like,
put it in the video game museum or something.
all right.
All right. Can you see this if I put this in the middle here?
Oh my gosh, Mag. Viewers, he always does this. He puts it on his tall monitor, and then when he
No.
screen shares it with me, it's bad.
All right. Let me try again. Is it good now or is it bad?
No, it's bad.
It's bad. All right.
Also, you're sharing your script.
What? I don't know what that means.
It says notes, and then it's got a screenshots of the
Oh,
draft of the games that we drafted that are coming out.
it's because I was on the wrong screen here. Let me cancel this one.
Do it live.
We'll do it live. We're back. I had to leave the video call. All right, let me do this here now. Share screen.
Fix it in the edit.
Yeah, I'll fix it in the edit. All right.
One cut.
Can you see
you're
it?
not one take Mag over here this time.
All right, you can see it.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Yes.
We're into our
Love it.
games. Cover
Can't
art.
wait. All right, this is Lego Jurassic World.
No shot. Wow. Do you own this game?
Easy game. Yeah.
Okay. So weight is up 1-0.
Ooh.
5 attempts.
This looks like a very PS3 360 era type of gray filter that we had on there.
Resistance fall,
Yeah,
man.
do it. Do it. Oh,
Adventure. Spiders?
all right. This is some dumb PC game.
This kind of looks like the Alien.
Like, I mean, get a gears in there. That looks like Corpser a little bit.
Okay.
To see if it's that series. I doubt it though.
It is not.
Okay.
Does this not look like a Alien face hugger?
I mean, it could just look like a skeleton.
You're a Skellington. Alien.
Wrong franchise. Wrong series. It's just bodies hitting the floor.
Helldivers. Ooh,
Like how
we're moving
is
now.
this the Diablo?
Series X.
What's that face?
PS5, PC. It is not Diablo. We got a face though.
This face. This is not no, I don't understand what's going on the top. That's what doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It's not like Hellblade. It looks very similar to like the Hellblade Senua's.
Hell Let Loose.
Sure. Do it. Do it.
Medium.
Oh, I've played this game. This is not representative of the game at all, but I guess that is the character.
All right. Ooh, this guy's got a gun?
I always think that it's a character from Soul Calibur. Every time. They always look like Soul Calibur characters.
This looks like a guy from Assassin's Creed.
Ezio de Artori de Forenzia?
I mean, not with a machine gun. Far Cry.
It's Chris Redfield.
Do you actually know that?
No, I'm just shot in the dark here. More guns.
SMG?
The Duke Nukem.
I don't think so.
Hail to the king, baby. Not Duke.
Looks like
Who
a
are
guy.
you?
Looks like a guy from like Marathon or something stupid.
He's from the Division.
This is obviously John from Perfect Dark.
John Halo.
That kind of looks like the Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor.
It's not the guy from Just Cause, but he has a Just Cause look about him. And also, you can't. Yeah, I think you don't get to pick yet, right? Like, yeah, do it.
It is.
What?
Oh, I said that it looks like a guy from Far Cry. Did I not say that?
You did say that.
I'll take a point for that.
Go for it.
Let's go. Wow. That's
From the first
crazy.
Far Cry.
Wow.
You've never played the first Far Cry.
Wow. Unbelievable. All right. I got a shot here. And of course, it's going to be some stupid indie game on this one.
Uh-huh.
Dark fill in the blanks, pixel art, story rich. Is this the Obra Dinn? You return to Obra Dinn? Obra Dinn. It's not it. But it is Switch, Xbox One, PS4, Mac, PC. Clue hunting.
Frozen moments. That's
Crime
a whole
scenes,
lot.
grisly deaths. Dude, I think this was a great guess.
No, it was. You're right. Next guess should probably be, what the heck is that game called? Disco Elysium. Although that's not pixel art. So
although it's Android also.
Oh my gosh. I think I know what this game is.
Secret Society, Family Betrayal, No Hand-Holding, Word Collection.
Put Golden Idol. The Case of the Golden Idol.
Bang! Wow. Nice.
Yeah, the word collection. That's what tipped me off. Like, that's the main mechanic in the game, is you talk to people and then you get words that you can plug into other things.
All right. Well, Wade has officially beat me 2-1 in this one, unfortunately. So we will move on to the video game grid.
As the winner,
I did the tour.
I'll elect to let you run with it, and I'm just here to help you.
All right. This is, oh Lord, Sonic Unleashed. I've never played this game. I own it. Oh, that's not it.
I think that you should come back to that one, because all Sonic games look exactly the same. It could be any of them.
All right. I don't think this is Sonic Colors. Oh, it's Sonic Generations.
Yeah. Agree.
All right. We move on. Is this Call of Duty? I don't know which one it would be, though. 2007? Unless it's like Medal of Honor.
Yeah, put Medal of Honor in and see
Homefront.
what the subtitles are. Airborne, Medal of Honor Airborne. There you go.
Or it's Frontline.
2007. So Frontline was like a PS2 era. Airborne fits 2007.
Airborne. Good call. All right. This is
kickball.
FIFA. No? Maybe not. FIFA. So it says it's 18, so it's probably 17. All right.
I think that you need to stop getting clicky. You're going rogue.
Whoa, what the heck? So this is just...
This is Doom.
I was going to say, is this just Doom?
It's Doom 2016, yeah.
If we lose on the soccer one, I'm going to be ticked. Oh, boy. Is this like Secret of Mana? Yeah, it is. This game has a banger soundtrack. Like, this fight has a sick song. It's amazing. Is this Heavy Rain?
Sure is. Jason.
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 I quote
Jason.
I quote that at least once a week to like one of my friends. Jason.
Oh my gosh. And then we go from that to
Is that
Beyond Two Souls.
Elliot Page?
Beyond Two Souls.
That looks just like.
And Heavy Rain. Wow. The same one.
Which Metal Slug is this?
Looks like 3 to me.
Dude, Metal Slug is so sick. I feel like it's criminally underrated. Oh lord. Which Pokemon is this?
We're gonna lose because you got too damn
I
clicky.
know.
You
Okay.
wasted all of our stuff.
I
on
wonder which
Sonic.
Pokemon this one is.
Good question. Good question.
I wonder what it could be.
You're gonna click on the freaking pinball one accidentally or something.
No. All right, we got 2 left. We got the soccer one, which
And
makes no sense. And then we got Metal Slug.
oh, I mean, I'd rather go out guessing a numbered Metal Slug than a numbered soccer game.
For sure. 2002. Do we want to go Metal Slug 2 or Metal Slug 4?
2002? Maybe 4?
Oh. Woo!
Sniped it. Wow.
All right.
Look at that. All right,
So-
let's go through these soccer pictures again. Like, is it a numbered FIFA based on the
I mean,
Wheel of Fortune
we've
thing at the
tried
bottom?
17 and 18.
Well, wouldn't FIFA 19 come out in 2018? I don't know why you went in the wrong direction.
Yes. Good save.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Whew, that was a close one. I'm not gonna lie, guys. We don't need to do name any game, I don't think.
No. Never.
All right, Wade says no, never. So,
We don't do that.
all right, let me get my grid view back up. Well, we were officially 102, so we did a great job keeping it close to an hour or so. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it, go ahead and follow our page. If you didn't like it, go ahead and not follow our page. Whatever, we don't care. I'm Mag, this is Wade, and thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys next month. Let us know what you want to talk about in the comments. Peace.
Till the next one. Bye.
Bye.